And welcome everybody to another live reaction here, post-game Super Bowl live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Dave Huerta. Thank you for hanging out here. Just going to talk about a little bit about the game, looking at the stats really quickly here. Mahomes finishing with a respectable 21 for 32, 257 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Did get picked off twice, including a pick 6, and was sacked 31 times, man. This offensive line really struggling to kind of slow some things down. This offensive line really struggling to slow some things down in the first half especially. In the fourth quarter, I don't think they gave up a sack, at least not after the for final 10 minutes. Mahomes finishing with the most rushing yards, had 4 carries for 25 yards. Kareem Hunt 3 for 9. Samaje Perine just 1 for 8, and Pacheco 3 for 7 yards. Xavier Worthy had himself a really solid night. 8 catches, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the 50-yarder there to basically what was the final touchdown of the game. Travis Kelce 4 for 39. DeAndre Hopkins 2 for 18. Juju 2 for 16. And Hollywood Brown 2 for 15. Otherwise, everybody else 1 catch for 5 yards or less. Mahomes lost a fumble along with the 2 interceptions. Drew Tranquill was the leading tackler for KC with 11. He also had a sack as well, and Karlaftis also picking up a sack. Altogether, the KC defense was able to have 10 tackles for a loss. They were really able to hold off Saquon Barkley pretty well. They kept him in check. I think he finished with less than 2.5 yards per carry on the night. I think he had less than 60 yards on the night as well. Brian Cook able to pick off Hurts early in the game, able to take away some points there, but just could not. I don't think they were able to. I don't think KC was able to get anything off of the interception. I think they had to punt it after a couple plays. And Matt Araiza had a punt 6 times in this game. I think the majority of them were in the first half, where he had to punt 5 times. And then no field goals at all. No extra points, no field goals for KC. And Jalen Hurts, 17 for 22, 221, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked twice. He also finished as the leading rusher for his team. So I'm not sure if this has happened before in a Super Bowl, but both quarterbacks finished as the leading rusher for the respective teams. He finished with 11 for 72, 1 touchdown. Saquon, 25 carries for just 57 yards, 2.3 yards a carry. Kenneth Gainwell, 6 for 10. Devonta Smith, 4 for 69, 1 touchdown. A.J. Brown, 3 for 43, a touchdown. Jahan Dotson, 2 for 42. And Saquon, 6 for 40 yards, and Dallas Goedert 2 for 27. Milton Williams, he was able to recover the Patrick Mahomes fumble. Zach Bond, unsurprisingly, leading tackler with 7. Josh Sweat finished the game with 2.5 sacks, man. Holy cow. Owen, welcome to the chat, buddy. Hope you enjoyed the game. I know you were wanting the Kansas City Chiefs to win. It did not happen, but they didn't give up, my dude. They did not give up. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And then we also had, let me see here, Milton Williams had himself a night. Obviously, 2 sacks, including a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Jalen Hunt also had a half a sack as well. Cooper DeJean and Zach Bond with the interceptions. DeJean able to return his for 38 yards and a touchdown. And Jake Elliott, man, a perfect 4 for 4 on field goals and a perfect 4 for 4 on extra points. Weirdly enough, his first 3 field goals he had to attempt 2 times each because they kept on being negated by penalties on Philly. So technically, Jake was a perfect 7 for 7 on field goals today. And the Philadelphia Eagles only had a punt twice in the game. Altogether, Philly picked up 21 first downs to KC's 12. Third down efficiency was not very good for either team. Kansas City was 3 for 11, and Philadelphia somehow even worse with 3 for 12 on third down. Turnovers was a 3-1 in the favor of Philly, and penalty-wise, pretty high towards the end there. KC 7 for 75 and Philly 8 for 59. Granted, 3 of those were on field goals. And time of possession, man, pretty dominant performance. Kansas City just 23 minutes compared to Philly's nearly 37 minutes. So, a heck of a game. But yeah, man, if you're in the chat, let me know. If you're watching, let me know what you thought of the game. Is there anything that stuck out to you in general? But let me know. Yeah. Here we go. We got 3 people watching. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Our goal is to get to 100 here, man. Not tonight necessarily, but just in general, man. That's a big goal, and we're gonna keep it going. But yeah, what did you think of the game? Was this what you were expecting? What surprised you? What didn't surprise you? I can tell you right now, I did not expect this to be a borderline blowout, basically. And I was expecting, if there was one team that was gonna dominate, I was thinking Philly, but I was also thinking that if that happened, Saquon would have himself a massive night, and that did not happen. David, we hear a game was sad, face panda. I know, man. I'm sorry, David. I know. I'm right there with you, man. I'm sending you good vibes through the camera. But yeah, dude. But hey, man, don't you can't hang your head, man. This team was Kansas City, man. They had a heck of a season. One bad night was all it took. But at the end of the day, man, they were freaking phenomenal, man, throughout the season. They had these last 3 seasons have been some of the best football of any team consistent in terms of consistency, man. Yeah. And like I said, I think I said it plenty of times during the stream, man. They're going to be back. Whether it's a Super Bowl or playing for a chance to get into the Super Bowl, they have a lot of talent. They have the franchise quarterback, and yeah, man, tough one for Kansas City fans, but I mean, it's been a heck of a 3 years. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of franchises right now that would give everything for 3 years like this, like Kansas City had. I mean, look at the Browns, man. They basically sold their soul for a chance at a Super Bowl. Did not work out. Did not work out. Sorry, Browns fans, you're taking shots right now. It's mostly the owners and the GMs there. Heard some fireworks here, so I guess there are Eagle fans here. Holy cow. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Gotta pop off some fireworks, man. Your team just won. I've never been one to do that. Be like, oh man, I'm gonna wake up my neighbors. But hey, man, I guess it's better than, being obnoxious or doing something crazy, I guess. But yeah, man. Holy cow. Yeah, once again, surprising. Like Mahomes, I don't know what was going on, man. I'm assuming I'm gonna really have to look at the film, but everybody just seemed off in the first half. Like he threw it to Kelsey twice, and each time it looked like first one was behind Kelsey, the other one was way, way too low. It was like below his knees. The throw to Hopkins there towards the end of the first half, where he was just wide open, and it looked like either Hopkins was not expecting the ball to either get there that quickly, or it just wasn't where he was expecting it to be, and it's just like just a weird, just unable to adjust to the catch or to the ball. So yeah, how about the quarterbacks being the leading rushers for both of the teams? That's it has to be a first in the Super Bowl. Has to be. All right, looking at it here. Yeah, just a so 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble slash fumble recovery by this Eagles defense. Man, that's a dominant defensive performance, and I think that made the difference. I really do. I don't want to take anything away from the Philly offense, but if Kansas City puts up points, I think Saquon not being able to run the ball against this team, and Hurts didn't finish with an incredible stat line. It wasn't bad. It was exactly what it needed to be. But less than 225 yards, threw a pick. Granted, he did have 3 touchdowns, 3 total touchdowns, I should say. But yeah, man, the Philly could not run the ball, man, outside of Hurts, who went out for 72 yards. Um, and I think if Kansas City, even if they put up just 10 points in the first half, and it's not even like, oh yeah, then it would be 32-40. Then obviously, yeah, it would be closer. But I think that changes how Philly might have played. And yeah, I think this win more than anything else is a credit to how dominant this defense was. I think that was the difference. I think that was the major factor in this game was the Philly defense. I think the offense did just enough to really be able to put up points. They were put into great positions on some of those interceptions slash turnovers. And on top of that, Philly. On top of that, Kansas City also turned the ball over on downs at one point in the game. Oh, hey, apparently the mustard man, DeJean, this today was his birthday. His 22nd birthday, man. The dude got a pick six in the Super Bowl. Heck yeah, man. Congrats to the kid, man. I remember that was a player that Packer fans were absolutely hoping the Packers would draft, and they had a chance, man. They had, I think, 2 chances to draft DeJean, and they went with somebody else. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any highlights here that they're showing. But does look no. And actually, I was wrong. Mahomes was sacked 6 times on the year during this game. And apparently, the Eagles never sent a blitz during this game, which for a Vic Fangio defense is insane. At least that's what I'm reading right here. Not a single blitz recorded or sent by the Eagles in this game. Dang, dude. And those tackles for Kansas City, they looked rough tonight, man. They were absolutely bullied by the edge rushers. Yeah, that was a rough night for those tackles, man. And this is what Hurts said during the post game interview. Defense wins championships. We saw how they played today. We saw the difference they made in the game. They gave us opportunities, gave us short fields, and we were able to do what we do. Exactly. But yeah, man, holy cow, man. Saquon Barkley finally left the. I don't even want to say left. He was basically thrown out by the Giants. And what does he do in his first year? Has an historic season, regular season, great postseason, and then wins his first ever Super Bowl in his first year with the Eagles, man. It's about as good as it's going to get right there, man. Congrats to Saquon, man. A guy that has been, like I said, basically was thrown away by the Giants for some reason. I don't know what the heck the Giants were thinking. Like, dude, look at your team. Like, you don't have a whole lot of talent. Like, why would you? Why do you think that Saquon would be the guy that you want to get rid of? It's like, come on. Oh, and here's a stat: the Green Bay Packers are the only NFL team to win 3 championships in a row, and they did it twice, from 1929 to 1931. And once again, we talked about it during the stream, 1965 to 1967. Let's go, baby. Green Bay, go Pack, go. But yeah, man, and the last franchise to ever win 3 in a row in any sport was the LA Lakers in the early 2000s there, man, with Kobe and Shaq. But what do you guys think here? Do you do you think Kansas City is going to be able to get back to this one next year? Do you think Philly is going to be able to repeat? There's a like I said, Philly. They're still a relatively young team, but pretty soon, man, those guys on that defense, man, those contracts are coming up. They're gonna have to pay these guys. They already paid Hurts. And they're probably gonna have to pay Saquon as well, because I think he was on a 1 year contract. I think, or maybe let me see here. Kind of want to see that. Seastrom. Well, hello, man. A long time no see, my dude. How you been, man? It's been years, years, my man. How you doing, man? How's the post Super Bowl treating you? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, well, let me know because I'm gonna see what Saquon has in terms of a contract with Philly. Oh, okay, okay. So he signed a 3 year deal for 37 mil, 26 of it guaranteed, and could increase to 46 with a bonus. Doing fine. Excited for this year. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. It's the great thing about when the season ends, man. It's a little sad, but it just means that means next season is just right around the corner, man. The NFL draft, sorry, free agency and the NFL draft, just always hope springs eternal, my dude. Maybe excited as a jump, just jumping the gun, or just a little. Just remember how the Cowboys right now. That is true. That is true. But I don't know, man. I really don't think the Cowboys were are going to be as bad as they were this year. And I think even then they were dealing with some big injuries. Obviously, they lost Dak Prescott almost halfway through the year. Um, but like I said, man, if they can get a few pieces, it's going to be a rebuild. I don't think it's one of those where it's like, oh, we got to the next 3 or 4 years are going to be rough. I can easily see Dallas, if they can get a good draft here, find some pieces on defense, maybe a playmaker on offense here and there, whether it's a running back or a receiver that they can pair with the players that they already have. I can see Dallas competing for a playoff spot. And then, another year, who knows, man? We've seen turnarounds, especially the last couple of years, man. Look at the Commanders. You know, one big player and a couple pieces here and there, man, and they were literally one game away from the Super Bowl. So, hey, man, be excited. Be excited, my dude. I am. I'm excited for the Packers. Will they let me down? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. It hurts every time, but guess what? Doesn't stop me from rooting for them every single game, every single year, bro. Don't be afraid to be excited about your team. All right, so yeah, Saquon, he signed a 3 year deal here. Most likely just a 2 year deal because I'm pretty sure the last year there's no money guaranteed. All right, we're going to go to Spot Track and check that out. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what it is. And it's gonna be I mean, regardless, it's a friendly deal, man. This year his cap hit was 3.8. Next year it jumps up a little bit, but not by much. 6.8. the dead cap, if they want to cut him after next year, is still going to be about 16 million, but he's only going to count about 10 million towards the cap during that third year. But if they decide to keep him after next year, I guarantee there's going to be a restructure. I'd be very surprised if he played out this contract, whether they keep him or he keeps on going. Yeah, man, the way the Giants treated him, dude, that was very glad he's able to go to a franchise that really wants him, and hey, man, got a ring. Seastrom, at least we're not the Giants. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure they're still worse in every metric except maybe head coach. The fact that it's still too soon to tell. We're both in an Eagles / Super Bowl championship timeline. I mean, it might be the darkest timeline. Woo. Yeah, dude. It is, I'll say this, and this, granted, I'm a Packer fan. At least we are not in a Bears or Vikings championship timeline, because I don't think I can handle that, man. Yeah, so Saquon is likely gonna be there next year. Oh well, he's gonna be there for sure, no matter what. I mean, the season that he had is insane. But if he decides to play for a third season with Philly, he's only gonna be 29 during that third season. But likely they will restructure that contract so he can get more money and probably push out some of the cap hit a little bit further down the road. And oh hey, man, horsewoman, what's going on? Long time no see. How you doing? How you doing? How are the horses? I feel less bad about the Packers' loss to the Eagles now. That is true. At least we lost to the Super Bowl champions. So I'm not happy about it, but at the very least, at least, it's not like the Bills losing. I was like, if you're gonna lose, you better lose to the championship, the champion, man. Otherwise, it's just sad. And Seastrom, I hope we don't get to start the season against them. I heard today that there's a distinct possibility out of the list of 6 or so potential opponents for the Eagles. Yeah, I'm just the NFL does like those early divisional matchups, especially the Packers and the Bears. Man, the amount of times I've seen them go up against each other in Week 1, so many times. So yeah, and it could happen, man. Obviously, Philly is going to have one of the primetime slots, and I mean Dallas always, they always draw up some big numbers, regardless if they play well or not. They're the Dallas Cowboys, man. They're one of the most popular teams in the NFL. So yeah, it would not surprise me to see a Philly Dallas Week 1 matchup. Oh yeah, Packers probably feel a little bit better now. Absolutely, man. Um, man, it's always tough. It's always tough, man, because it reminds me of like when the Bucks lost a couple. Granted, this was a while ago when they lost to the Heat when they went to the finals. I was like, all right, well, the Heat. No, they took out some other teams. Would have been nice if they would have won the championship that year, but yeah. Yeah, Cowboys have started against the Giants specifically a lot in the last few years. Yes, they have. And Yeah, yeah. Usually it ends well for the Cowboys during those matchups recently. Well, horses are great. Won first place at my first horse show of 2025. Let's go! Heck yeah, let's go! Congratulations, congrats. That's awesome. Hey, way to start 2025 on a high note. Let's go. So with those competitions, are they like every month, or like is it just kind of like, whenever, if if you can do it every week, then you can do it, but like I'm kind of curious. And also, does the winning horse, do they get to go to Disneyland like the Super Bowl MVP? And we talked about the Cooper DeJean's birthday was today. Apparently Saquon just turned 28 today as well. Holy cow, man! What a way to celebrate your birthday with a Super Bowl, your first ever Super Bowl victory. Holy cow! Holy cow, man! Wow, what a way to celebrate for both Saquon and Cooper DeJean there, winning some Super Bowls on your birthday. It's gonna be high up there. That's gonna be a special Super Bowl. Sorry, special birthday. No Disneyland for the horses. There's a show every month, but it's expensive, so I don't make it to every one. I have one next weekend, then taking March off. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I guess you would. I guess yeah, you would have to pay into it. That's how they make their money, I guess. But yeah. Huh. But hey, man. Well, congratulations. Congratulations on the win, dude. That's awesome. All right, looking at the just very quickly here, looking at Philly's team here. So Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson, Darius Slay are their three oldest players. Slay 34, Lane Johnson 35, and Brandon Graham 37. Brandon Graham is likely going to be retiring this season. Um, Lane Johnson might come back at 36, but he's getting up there. And a lot of these guys are free agents, like Dallas Goedert is a free agent after next season. Starting Bradbury is a free agent next year. Jake Elliott, Zach Bond is actually a free agent after this season, or no, after this season. This coming season. Let me see here. Let me actually double check. Hold on. Just want to make sure. Oh no, he signed I forgot. Yeah, he signed a 1-year contract. So yeah, so you got Bond, who's going to need to either get paid here by the Eagles or going to go somewhere else after having one of the best seasons by a linebacker with Philly. Holy cow. Josh Sweat is now a free agent. He also had a massive Super Bowl. He's 28 years old. Mekhi Becton, he's going to see if they're going to have to pay him likely. Yeah, man. So there's some decent names here that they're gonna have to pay, but nothing nothing crazy. That'll be interesting. Yeah, it looks like this Philly team is just the way they're structured, man. They could be competing for a while. That's good. Well, good for them, I should say. Maybe not anybody else in the NFC. But yeah, holy cow, we got 4 people here in this post Super Bowl live stream, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, let me know in the chat what did you think of the game? Also, what did you think of the halftime show? And finally, what did you guys eat during the game? I did not have anything. I had my bubblers here, had my caffeine. So, but yeah, let me know, man. I'm always interested in kind of like what Super Bowl like parties / kind of get-togethers people have. It's always fun. Also, after that, probably end the stream. I don't want to be up too late with you guys, or keep you guys up too late, I should say. Let me rephrase that. My goodness. But yeah, because it's Sunday. I know people have to work tomorrow, so I thank you so much, for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate it, David. David Stegosaurus, man. Tonight you have been on fire, my dog. You have been on fire. I ate sadness. That is one of the saddest sentences ever uttered. I'm so sorry, my dude. No, you have my sympathy and trying to give you a virtual hug through the camera. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Oh man. I ate sadness. Holy cow. That was good, dude. That and the tail starts swinging have been some of my favorite things I've ever heard, dude. Truly. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I'm trying to think here. I'm probably gonna go get some food here in a bit. I'm trying to think of what is open. But might do some wings. either that or probably go, healthy. Probably debating. I'm debating whether should I. Probably should go healthy. All right, man. Holy biscuits, man! What a Super Bowl! First one for the channel, and hopefully many, many more to go. But yeah, just a dominant performance by Philly, man. From the defense starting it out, and then the offense just being able to do what they needed to do. They had short yardage situations, and they took advantage of it, man. Enjoyed the Eagles win. Ate homemade green chili pork enchiladas casserole. Oh, that sounds so good. Oh my goodness, that sounds very good. Holy cow. I might eat that. That's what I'm going to have. I got tortillas. I got tortillas in here. I think might need the sauce. And pork. And casserole stuff. Might be more difficult than I thought, but you know what? We'll try it out. No, that sounds delicious though. Some green chili pork enchiladas casserole. Can never go wrong with a casserole, man. Like it gets casseroles get some flack, but it's good home food. It hits the spot every time. I know. I'm trying to eat. I've been eating healthier, which is good. But I'm like, should I go keep on going with the healthy? But I'm like, it's the Super Bowl. Gotta have something. Gotta have a little something. A little bit. But yeah, I think I might get some wings. That's probably what I'm gonna do. But yeah, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I'm gonna be doing for the channel over the next couple weeks, maybe the next few months, especially with the off season officially now starting after tonight. So yeah, we'll be doing some film breakdown of like some of the best plays, some of the best drives of the NFL season, things that I like, and I'm just gonna be kind of like breaking them down, just kind of talking to the points, what the receivers are doing, the offensive line, and then also what the defense is doing as well. So I'm gonna try to balance it out with some really great drives by the offense, which is probably mostly what it's gonna be, and then obviously some great plays or just some great stuff that what I see a defense doing, which is gonna be probably a little bit more difficult because usually a great defensive series is just three plays, but maybe we'll do like maybe like a half for a defense. If they had a great half, kind of like what Philly did during this game. We'll talk about that. So I'm gonna start recording those probably tomorrow, and there I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated as much as I can. I'm gonna try to bank some in for like the next week or two, so you may not see a whole lot of a lot of videos here the next couple of weeks. But we will still be doing the live streams on Friday, the Friday night Q&As/hangouts. So please join those. Those are going to be every Friday during 7 p.m. If it works out better, we might change the date, but if right now, that's what we're going to stick with. I think it's a great time. Friday night, typically, people are kind of hanging out at home sometimes. But yeah, So those are going to be going out every week, and then after about 2 or 3 weeks, once I edit those videos down, they'll be coming out weekly. I'm hoping to get out two of those kinds of videos every single week until basically August, when the season is um, kind of starting to ramp up again. 7 p.m. Central Time. My apologies. So if you're in the West Coast, obviously gonna be a little bit different. So yes, 7 p.m. Central Time. But yeah, so that's a video that we're gonna, or those are the videos we'll be doing as well. Um, I'm trying to think here. Oh, obviously some draft content as well. I'm not gonna do any quote unquote like player profile breakdowns, just because one, I feel like if I did that, it just, the content wouldn't be where I want it to be. It's never gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna try to hold myself to that standard where, you know, I want to be like, oh, I want to be so good that I'm an NFL scout. Then I'll start doing those. Just this year, I don't want to, I don't want to be able to do. I want to be able to make sure I have a kind of a little bit of a structure, or at least a system down for myself to be able to kind of see what I look at. Plus, at the same time, I want to be able to maybe watch some playoff games as well. And if I see a player that kind of catches my eye, I'll jot him down, look at some of his film, and then kind of be able to build my own profile for the player. And if I'm comedically off in what some of the quote unquote draft experts say, then we can make me. I can laugh at myself. You can laugh at me and be like, "Dude, what were you watching?" Or maybe if I'm right, I will put in my resume as a NFL scout. But yeah, that's something that I'll probably do next season as well. Probably after next season. But yeah, but since I'm going to the draft, like I said, we'll be doing some live streams. If I can live stream some events that are going on during that NFL draft there in Green Bay, I will. If I can live stream myself doing something funny, dumb, or exciting, I will. And then on top of that, hopefully, if it's even a possibility, I have no idea. If I can interview players, fans, or something that has to do with the NFL, I will, and I'll upload those as well. Those may come out depending on the Wi-Fi situation during the draft. Those might come out afterwards, but even then, within the next couple of weeks, those will be out as well, regardless. But yeah, man, I hope it's one of the best times, and I think it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be tough to have a bad time when I'm a big draft guy. I'm a big NFL guy, as you can tell. Um, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be so great. So yeah, so that's gonna be something that's coming out during April, and then after that, man, we'll find something. We're gonna find something to talk about. It's football. Um, I'm hoping, especially after the draft, we might add an extra live stream to kind of talk about any NFL news. And that one is gonna be similar to the Hangout, but maybe a little bit more different, a little bit, something a little bit, news central when it comes to that. But yeah, so those are the ideas that I have right now, and we might do some top 10 lists, some fun content, things like that. Top 10, top 5 lists, stuff like that. So yeah. You should have "I'm not a coach either" list where you just go with any crazy take you like for a player being good to pick, make it sound like you legit believe it. Maybe, dude, yeah. Be like, this kicker from North Dakota, put him at wide out. He's got good hands. He's got good hands. But yeah, no, that's, yeah, I like that. I'm not an NFL scout either. There you go, man. That's awesome. Like I said, David, one of these days, man, one of these days, I'm going to get you on the team. You're going to be my ideas, man. But yeah, so those are the things that I kind of have written down. I'm creating plans, creating some content, and just doing everything I can to one, entertain you guys, and hopefully build a great community here. You know, people that not only care about football but also just want to have a good time, man. You know, football should, the last thing it should be is stressful. The last thing it should be is misery in any form. You know, football should be something that we can all enjoy, regardless if our team is winning or losing. You know, if you're surrounded by some good people and also maybe even some good food, it's tough to have a bad time. This center has has such a strong hands. There's no way he can be the first round nose tackle. Hey man, not. I'm gonna write this down, my friend. Nose tackle. Speaking of kickers, what the F with the Eagles icing kickers every field? I don't know, man. I don't know. They were testing Elliott, man. They were testing him all game, and they're like, you know what? We don't want these kicks to be easy, even for us. Even though we're trying to win this game, let's let's ice our own kicker. You know, fight through adversity. It's gonna make the win that much sweeter for all of us. Yeah, like I said, Jake Elliott, his first 3 field goals were negated, or I should say, each of his 3 first field goals initially were negated, and they had to be moved back 5 yards, and he made all 3 every time. It was if it works, keep doing it. I know, right? It's at this point, if I was the Eagles, I'd be like, you know what, Jake, you play your best when you have to re-kick every single one of your field goals every time. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna line up. Somebody's gonna move first before you can kick it, and then we'll go from there, man. We're gonna win this. That's how the Eagles are gonna win their next Super Bowl. It's gonna be the tush push, and then false start on field goals. Can't stop them. Unstoppable. Yeah, and plus on top of the content that we talked about here, it's anything that we can think of, man, as a community or as myself, anything that I can come up with this crazy brain that I have, it'll pop up, man. It'll be there. I'll communicate with you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do, and honestly, these last, it feels like a half a year, but it's only been like 4 months. Have been some of the best stuff, man. It's been so much fun, so much fun, and it's to think I almost didn't do this. Week 1, I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, but then I missed the first game, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take week 1 to think about it, and then week 2, I said heck with it. You know, I couldn't. I was trying to figure out how to create a scoreboard, all this other stuff that I had no idea how to do, and you know, just kind of listen to so many people that have found success in many other areas, and all of them just say, just do it, man. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be good. Likely not going to be good. But the only way you're going to get better is by doing it. And I still stink. It's okay. I'm okay with that. That's one thing I've learned. To be okay with stinking a little bit, you know, not being good at something, because the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And just looking at the channel, how much it's grown, how much the community has grown, has been awesome. So it's been one of the best times of my entire life, truly. It sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but it's been so much fun to do. And being able to hang out with everybody that's come through this entire, whether you watched it and didn't comment, or you know, you watched it and you're like, maybe not for me, or whatever it's been, or if you've been here since the Grassi raid, and have been sticking around the entire time, man. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, it's been fun. It's gonna continue to be fun, and we're gonna continue to grow together. So, thank you so much. Thank you for guys, for everybody creating a great community, man. You guys are so nice to each other, so nice to me. um, and I just love it, man. I love seeing the chats when you guys are talking to each other, talking about your lives, sharing recipes, sharing parts of your life. Winning competitions. It's awesome. It's awesome, and hope to share more with you guys, and I hope it keeps on growing. So yeah. Let me see here. David, did you play football in school? I did not play football in school. But I was around the team there. I was one of the kind of like on the sidelines, just kind of talking and just kind of hanging out with the group of guys. And then after high school, I got into coaching. I coached youth camps here in Wisconsin. And did that for about. Granted, it was only a summer job, but we did it. I did it every single year for about 7 or 8 years, and the group of guys that we did it with were just great guys. There was a lot of varying experience. I was probably the least experienced of guys there, but luckily I had a group of guys that knew a lot about football. There was a couple players that either played in the NFL or made it there, played college football at some great schools, some Big Ten schools, some Big 12, or I'm trying to think of Colorado, Mountain potentially. So luckily I was surrounded by those guys and just hanging with them, talking about football, talking about the experiences of kind of being in that environment was always just amazing. And anytime you're teaching young kids to not even necessarily even play sports. That's not really what you're teaching that, but that's not what your goal is. You're trying to create some kids that learn how to communicate with each other, know themselves, know their shortcomings, know their roles, and on top of that, grow. And being able to do that for 7 years, the camps were from like 6 years old until just before high school. And I saw so many kids just grow from, toddlers to, teenage, young men. And that was one of my favorite things to do. It was so awesome. It was great. It's something that I look forward to, and I hope in the future I can hopefully kind of do something with that as well. Like whether it's, sponsoring or just kind of, giving a shout out to some of these local coaches, local communities that kind of put this stuff together. So it's special. It's really, really special. Sorry. If you wait until it's perfect, you'll never start. Absolutely. I admire you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I thank you so much for everything. But yeah, it's, you just got to start it, man. You just got to go with it. Go with your gut. It tends to lead you in the right direction. And don't be afraid to fall on your face. Don't be afraid to be embarrassed. Because that's the beginning of it, and it just gets better from there. Never quit. But yeah, that's kind of my experience. I also coached, not even coached. I was around a team, a local college team here in Wisconsin, and I was around them. I knew some of the coaching staff there. They were actually similar to the people that I used to work with during those youth camps. So I was able to travel with the team, and after a while, they're like, "Hey, you have a relatively decent voice," which I was like, "Yeah, thanks." And they're like, "How would you like to announce our home games?" And that's what I did for about 3 years when I was in college. I announced the local college home games for that college. And so like homecoming, I remember there's a game that I was announcing. There was probably, I think it was like 600 people in the stands, which was the most ever for a football game for that college in the history of their, at their football program. existed from like the early 20s, and then it went away during, I think it was like around the 60s or 70s. It just went away. And then about from this point, from this year, it came back like 20 during the early 20, sorry, during the early 2000s. And yeah, it was a small program, but it was fun. It was great. Got to travel with them when they had to play on the road. Went to Michigan, went to Maryland, and just got to experience some really really great football. And you can see the passion with these kids, man. Just like like once again, small school. Nobody there's this was before NIL. Nobody's making contracts. Nobody's and I was able to do some interviews with them in so many different walks of life. Some kids were from the Midwest. Some of them were from D1 schools that just couldn't make it, or injuries happened, and they had to come back to a smaller program to kind of rebuild their careers and things like that. Man, it's one of my favorite things about sports is the human. It's great to talk about these players and their accomplishments and kind of the quote unquote mythos that you see on TV. But the biggest thing is the person that's behind all that, behind the helmet, behind the pads, and everything like that. So that's one of the things that I hope to be able to do in the future. Whether that's interviewing former players or creating some kind of like retrospectives of some players. So those are the things that kind of motivate me to kind of keep going, and that's one thing that I hope to do in the future is yeah, being able to talk about some of the things that we all go through. Some of us don't have cameras in our face. Some of us, we're not born with the athletic ability to play football, but we're all very much human. We all have our struggles, and it can be inspiring to see somebody be able to accomplish great things while still trying to fight through some of the daily things that we all have. And Chris Lasso, what's up, brother? Tuning in late, but hope all is well. It is going great, my dude. Going great. How'd you like the game? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And what was your take on the game, man? Also, who were you expecting to win before everything went down? Definitely rooting for Philly, but didn't expect to play like that. Absolutely, man. That one, that one caught me off guard. Once it got to 17-0, I was like, okay, this is kind of like the turning point. This is either when KC comes back a little bit, or it's gonna get kind of how it ended up becoming almost. Well deserved win in my opinion. Absolutely, man. No, they yeah, there's nothing to indicate that this was a cheap win by any means. This was a pretty dominant performance. This is one of those. I think the last time we saw probably this much of a lopsided Super Bowl. And once again, there's no disrespect to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They're a great team, and they just had a bad night. It happens. But yeah, I think the last time we had a lopsided Super Bowl like this was what, the Seahawks Broncos. Yeah, and to be fair, I think the Broncos probably played worse than KC did for sure. Sorry, Perna. And I picked KC to win, but was rooting for the Eagles. Blown away by the Eagles defense. Amazing that their offense scored 40 points, and they're not that what impressed me the most. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's one. I think the defense definitely set up that offense in some great field position. The fumble, the second interception by Bond just before the half, the turnover on downs. And I think that really, really helped that offense that really struggled to run the ball. I know Jalen, was able to pick up 72 yards on the ground, but Saquon, like I said, less than 2.5 yards per carry, less than 60 yards. He carried the ball 25 times, but only came up with 57 yards. Sorry, 57 yards. And that is something that is like, I can't remember the last time he was held to that low of a rushing total in a while. Yeah, and then yeah, that defense was by far the most impressive, and it's I mean, actually they were able to pick up what 6 of those 40 points off of the pick six there by Cooper DeJean, the mustard man. And I like what you said, David. If it works, keep doing it, man. If it works, keep doing it. Yeah, and then trying to think here. During the halftime show, I was kind of curious of who they were highlighting somebody else, and I didn't realize that it was Serena Williams. I did not realize that, but it's good to see Serena, man. That just a great competitor, man. One of the greatest tennis players of all time. Slightly off topic, obviously, but yeah. Not surprised Casey was able to contain Saquon, but that was the only thing they did really well. Maybe opened up an opportunity for Hurts first. Absolutely, I think so, and I think the like I'm right there with you because let's be honest, that front seven for KC has been phenomenal for most of the season. They have a great defensive line. They got linebackers that tackle well, that can get to the ball carrier. So yeah, it was. It wouldn't have been. It was definitely not out of the realm of possibility that they were able to. We're going to be focusing on Saquon and being able to probably contain him. He was definitely not going to go off for 200 yards like he did against the Rams twice, this season. But man, dude, it was impressive, especially early on. And then the holes that were opening up a little bit, you could clearly tell that the the front seven was trying to get as much pressure on Hurts, and that was opening up some of those gaps that he ran through. Like if you look at the designed runs for Hurts in this game, I don't know how many he had. I think he had 4 or 5 designed runs. I think only one of them picked up more than 5 yards. But it was the quote unquote the scrambles, the off the plays where he was able to pick up a significant chunk of yardage. So anytime the the Philadelphia Eagles were trying to run the ball, it typically didn't work. But when they were kind of, had no other choice, or they kind of had a scramble and kind of make things up, that's when it really was, they were picking up some decent yardage. So yeah, I think both defenses, granted, I know KC gave up, 40 points in this game, but I think their defense was the better aspect of it. I think if KC's offense would have been able to put up even just a few points here and there early on, especially early on, I think that changes what the Eagles would have played like just a little bit. We've seen it before. They like to stay aggressive, and when they don't feel completely in control, they really tend to start forcing a few things here and there. And you saw that with Hurts on his interception. Trying to make a play, just trying to chucking the ball up there, and it cost them. But unfortunately, Kansas City was not able to, take advantage of it after the interception. And then, so just to kind of put a great bow on what has been an incredible, incredible Super Bowl Sunday, what was your guys' favorite moment of the season? Let me see here. Chris Saquon's backwards hurdle, man. That was special, man. And like the surrounding like few seconds before and after were just insane, dude. Like he was in the middle of breaking the previous tackle when he decided to just jump backwards, and I think he did like an extra spin move to get away from another tackle. It was after the hurdle, man. Yeah, Saquon, that play was insane. That one's going to be shown on some highlights for probably the next, 25, 30 years, man. It's crazy. And Washington's Hail Mary against the Bears. Absolutely. Holy cow, man. Yeah. Oh, man. I still can't believe I watched that game live, man. I almost picked another game to stream. Luckily, we did not, man, because that was amazing. Xavier's interception streak was the highlight of the early season for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, McKinney, man, he was worth every penny and more. Just one of the best players that we have picked up in a long time. I think the last time like a player had this kind of impact, a free agent, I should say, was, I mean, you can probably talk to Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, their first year, but as long as hopefully McKinney can stay with the Packers for a long time and can play at a similar high level, because it's been a long time since the Packers had a great safety. Um, Charles Woodson, you probably have to go back to that. Julius Peppers, maybe, I think you could say, had a pretty, really sizable impact. Yeah, but amazing. David, highlight of the season for me was pink. Yellow one, yellow one dried out. My dude, you are on a roll. This is some airplane level wordplay, my dude. Surely you must be kidding. Also, I've always been partial to the blue highlighter. I think yellow's a little overrated. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. I think it's a little overrated. You know, especially once it's been in there for a while, it starts to kind of fade a little bit. You can barely see it. Blue, you know what? You know, right there. Change some things up. That's my go-to. Don't call me Shirley. we got some airplane fans in there. Let's go in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, man. Man. I got to peace out up in 6 hours for. Oh my goodness. You have a great one. Get some rest. Thank you so much for jumping in here. I appreciate you, and hope you're doing well. And yeah, good luck on that next competition. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Absolutely. But yeah, man. Sorry, I'm racking my brain. What is my favorite thing of the year? My favorite moment of the year? Holy cow! Sorry, favorite highlight of the year. Um, man. Trying to think here. Honestly, the I would say I would have to say the Packers. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be amazing, but man, dude, that trying to think here. My goodness, I'm trying to pick between two things, and it's gonna be interesting. To be honest with you, when Malik Willis came in for Jordan Love during those 2 games, those were some wild, wild games. Like, I did not know what to expect from Matt LaFleur, from Malik Willis in that offense. But man, dude, they looked so good. Um, those games were really, really fun to watch. It was great having Jordan back because I think he's going to be the best opportunity we have to win a Super Bowl. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think if he wasn't injured, I think he would have had an even better season than he already had. I think he already had a pretty decent season in my opinion. But yeah, man, it was fun. I would say those Malik games, man, those were always a great throwback to kind of, it showed how good this team could be, and that was like the first indication, in my opinion, that this Packer team was legit. It can survive a lot. It can survive the injuries to our franchise quarterback. They have the talent around, and yeah, those games. That was a highlight for me because I think that showed how good this Packer team is, and that was one of my favorite things. Once those games happened, I was like, we got a squad that can make a run. They didn't play well towards the end of the season, but hey, sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not. So there'll be next season for the Pack, man. It's gonna be you. And if you look at the history of the Packers, especially recently, the third season with their new franchise quarterback tends to be a special one. With Brett Favre, I'm pretty sure in his third season he won his first MVP, or he made it to the Super Bowl. We'll have to double check that. With Rodgers, they won the Super Bowl in his third year. And now with Jordan Love, man, we've made the playoffs 2 years. What does the kid have in store for year number 3 as the franchise? So hopefully it's a special one for Packers Nation. And hopefully, to be honest with you, hopefully hopefully next season is even crazier than this one, man. Because this season had some wild, wild moments. Hail Marys. Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary somehow as well to Alan Lazard. Yeah. It's gonna be fun, and just like we did this year, man, we're gonna stream as many games as we can, and we will start out in week 1 this time. But yeah, we'll do every primetime game, every Packer game, and every game that we can, man. Just like, yeah. So we're gonna be here. We're gonna keep it going, and I hope you're here for the ride. So thank you to everybody. Thank you if you're still watching. Thank you. Have a great night, guys. Have a great Sunday. Hopefully you can get some great sleep. Hopefully you don't have to work too early in the morning. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. And I'll see you guys on Friday. So thank you. And yeah, once again, my name is Dave, and I'm not a coach. Thank you.